everyone. I'm Deborah Gardner, your author, keynote speaker, and host for this splashy International Hospitality Students Day 24 by the Grand Valley State University Hospitality and Tourism Management Program from the amazing Grand Rapids, Michigan. And we are tickled pink to have all of you. Yep. You are the one I'm talking to, the high schoolers, college students, university future hospitality rock stars from around the world. And we're so delighted that you are here for this fun full day with interviews and excitement from top industry leaders. So now what I want you to do is grab your sunscreen and let's set sail for a new adventure into cruising and entertainment with the founder and CEO of 3D Cruise Partners, Karen Devine. Welcome back, everyone, to International Hospitality Student Day 24. And I am so delighted for this interview with Karen Devine with 3D Cruise Partners. Hello, Karen.
Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have to say that you are the go-to person when it comes to cruises and entertainment. So we are so delighted again to have you on here. And you're also a destination specialist at the same time. And this is like one area I don't believe students really know much about. So I know you have a wealth of information to share with them today. And we're gonna dive in a very short period of time here because incentive programs, what you do, meetings and events, tourism, all kinds of things at sea. And I'm sure the cruising and entertainment sector has changed. The tourism industry for this area has changed so much. So tell us, what is the cruise entertainment sector all about? What's it like today? Share some trends and maybe even what products are coming on board.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to be here, Deborah. Thank you for having me, and thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to a younger generation of up and coming or interested hospitality industry future execs. I'm so happy to do it. And oh my gosh, where do I unpack that?
So the cruise industry.
Yeah, right. The cruise industry has evolved immensely in the last really 20 years. If you think about passenger cruising really only started, and to this audience, perhaps even just before you were born, to be honest, it hasn't been around that long. The evolution of it, however, has evolved from being, an opportunity where you saw, transatlantic glamorous, cruising across the ocean to get from A to B, to now people are lining up to get on these cruise ships because of the innovation, the technology, the entertainment, the food, and the destinations that they travel to. I think one of the coolest parts about the industry now is that we literally have something for everybody. If you want to go with your family, if you want to go for a meeting with an absolute dedicated conference at sea, if you want to do an incentive program, which I can describe more later if you'd like, as to what the differences are in program types, there is almost always a cruise ship now that will fulfill that interest in what can be done at sea, both from the onboard and the off. So what we do is really dive into what is the client looking for, where are they trying to go, and what are they trying to accomplish, and then find that ship and that destination and marry the two so that it fulfills the program and the specifications they are looking for.
Wow. Okay,
That's a lot to unpack.
Yeah, no, this is great. So you mentioned the specialized areas like incentive programs. Can you explain what that is all entailed and how students can actually get involved in that area?
Absolutely. So when you're looking into a hospitality career, it really does, regardless of what segment it's in, be it hotel or travel only, or it doesn't matter what land or cruise, but I'll speak obviously today specific to cruise. There's different kinds of programs that you're looking at within the hospitality industry, and a hotel or a cruise ship are going to receive customers either as individual travelers, or what we specialize in on the group and incentive side. An incentive program is, for example, you have a Toyota, I'll use them as an example, if I may use a brand name, where they're doing an internal incentive. For example, you sell X amount of cars and you win a trip. And we're trying on our side of things to get them to look at a cruise opportunity versus a land opportunity versus a hotel company who would be trying to get them to look at a hotel destination somewhere that they represent in the world. So an incentive program is a reward trip where they've won it based on certain parameters that are qualified by the company for them to hit and win, and then they get to go on a trip. So that's an incentive travel experience. Or the other side of it is a meeting experience where the purpose of the program is to go to a meeting. For example, Deborah, where you speak, you've got people coming into an event space and someone is highlighted as a speaker, or they're getting together and they're running through their program numbers. So there's meeting programs and there's incentive programs, and that's the sector of the hospitality industry that we specialize in.
Well, the fun part is when students, if they go this route with their career, they're around people that are always happy.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun industry to be in. That's for sure.
I know, right? Because everybody's happy. Everybody's, especially the award winners. I mean, they're like, oh, we get to get out of the office. We get to go on a cruise and travel around. And anybody that works on a cruise, gets to be around those kind of happy people and
absolutely
at the same time.
It's pretty cool, actually. I mean, I do this for a living, and I'm on ships all the time. And oftentimes I do what's called a day visit, where I just take a customer on for the day to see the ship. And then as we're walking down the gangplank, we're seeing all these incredibly happy people coming up. And we're like, darn it, we're walking off and they're all coming on super happy. So yeah, it's definitely a very, very fun industry to be in.
What a better way to bring a client on around everybody that's happy. So anybody that wants to be in sales in the cruise and entertainment industry can really have almost an easy sell because everybody's happy around.
Oh gosh, it really is. I mean, it is. I mean, we keep it in perspective of we are fulfilling people's desires to travel. Okay. And it's so much fun being a part of that and learning. I grew up, literally I grew up from my college years to now in the incentive travel industry and evolved into cruise over 20 years ago. And I'll never look back. I mean, I love the hospitality industry in general, because we are delivering fun. Even if it's a meeting, I mean, people get to go. They get to go somewhere and attend a meeting or an incentive program, wherever it may be that the client is hosting it. So it's just a phenomenal industry to be in, for sure, and growing leaps and bounds.
And it's not only just out to sea, you do river cruises as well. I mean, there's
anything that floats, I like to say.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. There you go. I like that idea. Okay, so interesting enough, you are a University of Dayton graduate in business. What does a business degree have to do with what you do and the hospitality and tourism profession?
Yeah. So, gosh, where do I start with that? So first of all, I think a business degree will get you anywhere. I think that it's applicable to anything. I did not know, and this is just, I think, a really great message for the students watching this, is you never know what you're doing now may lead to later in life. I have a lady who works with me and for me who is a hospitality major, actually, from a university in Illinois. And the business side of it certainly helps me now in running my business. But as I look back in my early stages of my career, just having a business degree also opened doors for me as far as just the knowledge of business and marketing and understanding terminology, if you will. Even though initially it didn't have as much to do with the hospitality industry, it led me certainly on a great path into an executive role and running my own business all these years later. So I think that, just to be honest, whatever you're studying in school can be applicable to you now and later, if that makes sense, because the evolution of how you develop your career, we always fall back on, at least I still do, to those school days, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And here's the interesting thing is this is your business. So instead of students going to work for a company, maybe there's some entrepreneurs out there that have that urge to go, you know what, I want to start my own company in the hospitality industry. And so with you owning your own business, there's got to be some extra, I guess, work that needs to be done. In other words, because you got to know, like, that's why, the business background is really great to have, but you also have a lot more responsibility to know pretty much a lot of things, having the vast networking and contacts and know the ins and outs, because it's a responsibility, right?
For sure. And, again, I think speaking to this specific audience, I'd love to just provide some insight and background on that, because I definitely went through various stages of learning, from school into hotel companies. And I worked for a couple of different hotel companies well before I got into cruise. And figuring out which avenue you want to take, which area of hospitality are you interested in, because there are so many. And every step of the way, professionalism, your contacts, having people that you work with, that you learn from, and being so willing to learn every aspect of it. Again, I didn't know back then what that was going to lead me to now, but having the background and the infrastructure of people that I grew up in the industry with through various stages literally impacted my ability to start my own company 20 years ago. So you never quite know what it's going to lead to, but my best advice for, my own children who are this age as well, coming into the workforce and into hospitality, is there are so many wonderful opportunities and networking with, you might not even realize who you know. It could be a front desk position in a hotel locally. It could be working for what's called a destination management company who receives guests into a place. It could be working at a call center for a cruise line. There's so many different things you can do to start out in hospitality, that you find the area of it that interests you, or you keep sampling little parts of it so you find which area, which frankly, I never in a million years thought back in my 20s I would own a company one day. I knew I was smart. I knew I was, unafraid and aggressive and so excited about this industry, but my goodness, I never knew what was going to happen down the road. And it was literally just through good business practice, good ethics, experience, and working my way through a different industries to fall in love with cruise and recognize an area that I knew needed help and how I could help it. So that was a lot said, but it's really, I think, speaking to you, the students out there, I'm so excited. We always are. And through our industry affiliations, which I think Deborah and I will get to, getting students involved in what we do so they can taste and feel and experience what this industry is all about is super important, and more importantly, very impactful.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. And so speaking of, what is entailed, you have some interesting certifications that are for the cruise side of the industry. I've got my CMP, which is a certified meeting professional. You have what is called a CITP. And then also you are a IRF board of trustees. So can you explain that to the students and any other certifications you've got underneath there, like best mom of the year, I'm sure?
I'll take best mom first. And I have 3 sons, and I'm pretty sure they'd say that. So that's all good. I think in our industry, there are basically 2 primary companies that run research, education, development for the industry. And that's where we're talking with you all, in school or looking at hospitality or whatever aspect of it or area of it you may be in at this phase. One is called Society of Incentive Travel Excellence, SITE. The CITP is Certified Incentive Travel Professional. It's a rather exhaustive test that you take. in the hospitality industry to get that certification under the umbrella of SITE, which is one of the two leading, as I mentioned, companies that run education and research. The other is IRF, which is the Incentive Research Foundation, exactly what it sounds like. IRF and SITE partner often on industry practices, industry research, industry development. And IRF, being Incentive Research Foundation, focuses on the research for the industry. Both, by the way, SITE, SITE, and IRF have young leaders, which is SITE, and accelerated, which is IRF, for people coming into the industry, new into the industry, to become part of either one of those organizations, to learn, to be mentored, to learn about the research, to read about what the industry does. So either one of them are excellent. I was lucky enough to become part of the IRF board 2 years ago. And I'm still every day just blown away by this group of industry experts who literally are looking at going to universities, speaking to young folks, bringing people into this industry, because, you know, it's fairly evidenced by what you can see with me on the screen today. I, am not a young person anymore. And we're looking at we need your insight. We need the next evolution of the hospitality industry. We need to learn now from you as to what's coming, what's important. How do you market to and talk to this next generation of incentive or meeting guests? Because, frankly speaking, I remember being that young person in the industry looking at the older people going, right? And now I'm one of them going, okay, I'm going to open this up because we need younger people coming in here. So that's why, again, Deborah, I'm so excited to be here with you. And whatever message this gets across to this audience, I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to speak to what is the next generation of the hospitality industry.
Yeah, well, we also have to thank Grand Valley State University, because
100%. Thank you.
Brains behind this, saying, hey, we want our hospitality and tourism management program to be elevated, and we know we can do this on Hospitality Today Live. So thank you for recognizing that. And you're right. It seems like yesterday we were the students, but here's the best part. Is we know what they're dealing with, what their questions are going to be, and the curiosity going, is this the right industry for me? Because, just a couple of years ago, it wasn't, one of the top, 50 industries to be in. But now that it's bounced back so quickly, and it seems like that's the theme that you're sharing, is that we need to bring the new generation in to replace us oldies, but we are goodies. So that's why we want to have the students take advantage of learning from people that, like you, have been in the industry for so long and have the knowledge and wisdom, so they don't have to make those mistakes like we had to make. So that's the beauty of it. Now, the skills behind what you do, tell the students, what are like the top skills that you recommend that they master now while they're in school, or while they're thinking about getting into hospitality and tourism, or maybe they're already working in our industry? What kind of skills should they really master?
Aside from maybe what is the obvious with, technology and social media, which I think this generation is already excellent at. I say this all the time as I talk to, and I have brought in younger folks into my company, is I can train a trainable person. I can coach a coachable person. So it isn't necessarily experience that I look for. It's rather the right individual interested in this industry. And that is a skill set, right? It's a skill set from the perspective of, being willing and able. First of all, I think travel obviously is in our middle name, right? Being able to get out and travel and be willing to do that. But people will tell you all the time as you're interviewing, don't say I love people and I love to travel. That's not what we say in our industry. It's moreover, I am interested in learning. I am interested in the hospitality industry. So the skill set is personality, frankly, and willingness to be coached. And that means learn the nuances of what this industry is all about. And I want to back up 1 second, Deborah, to something you said that I think is super important for these guys is, this industry has been through a lot. Yeah. The travel industry, however, always comes back. Always. I mean, and again, before the time of this generation, but when 2008 happened, if anybody look that up, they'll know what it is. When 9/11 happened, when the most recent and scariest with the pandemic happened, we all lived through that. And the hospitality industry came back every single time. Why? Because people meet, they meet face to face. We do believe in the incentive industry. I mean, virtual is going to be part of it. It already is. It's here to stay. But there's something to be said for people winning that trip or going in person. And Deborah, you speak for a living also, and being face to face with people, it matters. There's a difference there. So I keep going back to personality because that's our industry. We are fun people. We are very personal in our contact, our relationships, and growing your network of people, no matter which phase of this you may go through, be it your professor or your teacher now, your fellow students now, your first job and what impressions you make on those people. I never in a million years, again, going backwards, could have guessed the people that I grew up in this industry with in my 20s are now running companies in this industry. Most of us stayed in hospitality, and they're presidents and CEOs now of their own companies, and they're my friends because I came up as a kid with them in this industry. So we are, as many industries are, we are very tight knit. It's very close. We know one another, and that leads to referrals. That leads to having references, right? So I may not be addressing the skill set exactly the way maybe it's usually thought of, but it's a skill set in hospitality that's all about ethical practices, never burning a bridge, relationships, and personality, frankly.
And just having that drive and that motivation, along with soft skills like communication, like you said, ethics. All
good
of that.
Point. Communication is key. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. I mean, all of that together. I mean, you covered it all because, and what's so great about that is you get to utilize it every day. It's not something like learning a language and you only get to use once a year. You can pretty much use all your talents, your expertise, your education in so many variety of ways. And I'm so glad.
I will say I'm a grammar geek. I will tell you that.
Are you? Okay.
I am.
Cool. Well, very cool. Very cool. I love that. So, so where do students start if they're interested in cruising and entertainment? Where do they start? Where do they go? Do you have internships, or what kind of advice would you have for them there?
I think internships are brilliant. I mean, there are so many internship opportunities depending on where you are in the country and where you may be. I mean, and I know, Grand Valley State University is in Michigan. I know that, but it doesn't matter necessarily where you are. I come from the Midwest, from the Chicago area, and we have lots of connections there and kids that my kids grew up with who do internships in the summertime virtually, or they go off and work at a hotel, for example, for the summer, or they get some sort of internship opportunity through a cruise line. They do them as well, where they hire summer interns. And I don't mean to just focus on summer, but internships are key because so many companies do them, obviously hospitality industry being one. And it's a wonderful way to get your feet wet in the industry. If you're already in a location that has a hotel or a restaurant or a country club or anything like that, where you're serving guests, you're facing guests, that is hospitality. That's what we do on the front facing side of it. So I think that there are many opportunities to get involved, even just locally, by reaching out to your home area or a place that you may be in for the summer, or an area you're interested in moving. I will use my youngest son, if I may, as an example. He graduated college with a business degree and moved to Tampa, Florida. He wanted to be in an area that, had a lot of hospitality opportunities already in the infrastructure there. So I hope I'm answering that, Deborah, in a succinct enough way, but there are just so many avenues you can go to get that first leg in, to see and I would literally be, you can Google what's available with internships in hospitality, or ask, because somebody knows somebody who knows somebody that already, right? And it's all about that connection to get you in the door, in my opinion.
That is so true. And there's so many, like you said, resources, Google. I get cruise magazines. I mean, just this morning I got the Travel Weekly with the cruise right here.
Love that.
there's so much information in here to educate yourself if you're interested in the cruise and entertainment section. So
well, I would say, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Go ahead.
Go for it.
No, I was going to say, like, if you're interested specifically in cruise, certainly you can come to me. I think we're going to put my contact information up or my LinkedIn profile later, but you can certainly come to me for research the cruise lines.
Yeah.
I mean, there are some big mamas out there, Carnival and Royal and Norwegian, but there's also smaller ones that might just be looking for help. So by all means, research the cruise lines too.
Absolutely. And so students, I want you to get your pen and paper out because we are going to give you her contact information because she would love for you to call her and talk to her about it. But I'm going to ask one more question, and it's a very important question. You are wearing your blue, which is Grand Valley State University's colors. And so the main question that the students are going to want to know is, what does International Hospitality Student Day 24 mean to you?
Well, thank you for asking that. And again, thank you for letting me participate in that. It means everything to me to be able to speak to this audience because, again, I came from where you are right now. I got into this industry as a student, fell in love with it. Took me about 5 minutes to realize, oh my goodness gracious, these people travel all over the place. This is a cool industry. Speaking to you all, if it provides any opportunity for you to get more interest, engage with what we do, get excited about this industry, then I've done a good job. And the opportunity to speak with you all, the opportunity that your university has provided us to do so, just gives us the reach to ensure that you are welcome here. We want you in this industry. We're excited about it. Frankly, we don't have enough, in my opinion, younger folks coming into hospitality. And maybe it's because they don't have a direct connection. Well, now you do. I hope you all would reach out to me. I'm happy to help guide you. I'm happy to direct you to any avenue of hospitality you might be interested in. So being part of this, Deborah, is huge. And speaking to this audience is so impactful for us in the industry because we really do want to connect with you on a much larger scale.
Yeah, this is great. Thank you. And we really appreciate having you here too. So yes, we want you to students to, high schoolers, college, university, wherever you are throughout the world. Here is Karen's information. Please connect with her as soon as you can because you can start now wherever you want in the hospitality industry. You don't have to wait till you graduate. And even if you're curious, coming for a summer job or the holidays, or there's always room, and we've got plenty of jobs available in this industry. So Karen, I want to thank you again for joining us. It's always a delight. You again, I have to say, is the go-to girl for the industry. And boy, if you want anybody to know about cruise and entertainment, oh my gosh, you are it. So thank you for being with us. Happy International Hospitality Students Day 24, everybody.
Thanks, Deborah.